Hello and welcome to another World of Warplanes video with me, Sir 10 Death. Continuing our ongoing theme of reviewing some fighters, today we're looking at a one that has appeared in the premium shop quite recently but was before that unavailable. It's the Spitfire 1A British Tier 5 fighter. Now this is a plane that is quite easy to pick up because it frequently appears as part of promotional packages, and I've got mine as part of a code in the UK that came along with the F-56 Stosser a week or two ago, and I finally got around to doing a review of it. I've stuck a pretty paint job on, as I always do. That looks pretty nice, and I've got my repair kit and my fire extinguishers. I've got my lightweight airframe, I've got my improved covering, and I've got my improved targeting, so to improve my accuracy with shooting them. As normal, we'll get into a game and we'll see what it does and what it doesn't do so well. As I usually do, I'll be talking about what this plane does particularly well and what it isn't so good at, and I'll be making direct comparisons with the regular Tech Tree Spitfire, because naturally it's a Spitfire, so it is quite similar, very similar to the standard Tier 5 British plane. It's really about whether it does some things better or worse, and we'll have a talk about the differences along the way. Okay, so we mentioned it's a Tier 5 British fighter plane, and the Spitfire line in the game as it is at the minute is largely regarded by many as being overpowered. It's a very, very popular line to play, to work right through the Spitfire line, because they seem to have a lot of things going for them and not so many weaknesses. So let's have a chat about this one then. As it comes out of the bag, so to speak, it has 200 hit points. Mine's got a little bit more, 210, because I've got that lightweight airframe fitted to give it plus 5% and also reduce the chance of critical damage. So I'm going straight to work here and seeing how these guns perform, and just straight away what I notice is that it's got really good manoeuvrability, which is fairly standard for the Spitfire line. The Spitfires are particularly good at turning, and they're great little turn and burn planes. And I've got on the tail of this person here, and he's not getting away from me. Come here, there you go, bit of damage done. So, yeah, it's pretty good turning. Its official manoeuvrability is 83, which is really nice. That's one more than a stock Tech Tree Spitfire. But once your Tech Tree Spitfire is upgraded, it becomes the same. They both become 83. So, pound for pound, it's pretty much the same as the Tech Tree one. Not a lot of changes there. Hit point wise, the same thing applies. The stock Tech Tree Spitfire has 200. Once it's upgraded with an improved airframe, it'll have 210 as well. So, not a lot of difference there as well. Turning, this has got an 8.6 second turn, which is really, really nice. That's right up there with some of those Japanese fighters, to be honest. It's a very, very manoeuvrable plane, and I like how quickly it gets into the turn. Here's a good example of it getting straight on the tail of somebody else and going to work. Now, no matter how much this guy tries to twist and turn and get out of dodge, I'm going to stick with him and I'm going to work him down there. So just past the 1,000 combat points, and similarly, making the comparison again, the Tech Tree Spitfire has a turn of 8.7. Again, once it's upgraded with better engines and things, it becomes 8.6. So again, not a lot of difference. It's very, very much like the one from the Tech Tree. The one difference being, of course, this being premium means it will pull in more credits. They both have a suggested operating altitude of about 1,200 meters. I'm currently kicking around about the 900 meters now, a little bit lower than what's suggested. But yeah, it normally operates a little bit higher than that. That's what's recommended. But because it is so manoeuvrable and it's fairly quick, you wouldn't use the word super fast, you can get to these lower combats like this one here. Come in and engage this plane down here and go to work on him. And yeah, come here, polish him off, and then get up to some higher altitude if needed again. But actually, there's somebody else down here. It's an attack plane. Now, this is an attack plane coming straight towards me. I don't really want to be on the wrong end of his gun, that's why I've just deliberately banked up and over the top of him to come back down from a different angle to hopefully try and avoid his rear gunner as well. And just go to work behind him again. Grade 5 fighter, 2,500 combat points. Lost about half of my hit points so far. And just climbing. We're getting my altitude back up again there now. Speed-wise, when not boosting, it does around the 350-ish thereabouts, which is fairly average, very normal for Tier 5. When boosting, as I'm doing at the minute, you can push it over the 400. I'm also climbing, which is not a great example of that. Let's talk about these guns, and you've seen them working now for 2 or 3 minutes already, and they're effective enough. It actually has got 8.303mm guns, and they are all wing-mounted. Now, wing-mounted guns, you can see, if you look at the tracers on the screen here, you can see how they're coming from the extremes of the screen in towards the middle. Wing-mounted guns are, generally speaking, less accurate than cowling-mounted guns, but when you've got 8 of them, I mean, really, it's almost like spamming damage. It's a little bit like you can just throw those bullets out there, and something's going to hit eventually. It does mean that it's not got pinpoint accuracy, but you really don't need that level of accuracy when you're just throwing this much lead around. This is a good example here. I don't have to really worry about aiming perfectly. I can just throw lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of bullets at him, and you can see his hit points dropping as they're all making contact. As long as you can keep him in the middle of the sights, generally speaking, they hit pretty well. So we've almost got this guy here, and just taking us to the just shy of 4,000 combat points mark now. Making the comparison to the tech tree one again, it also starts with 8.303s. It can be upgraded to two 20mm cannons, so you can, with the tech tree version of the Spitfire, you can oh, I'm on fire there, didn't notice that. You can, of course, kind of make a choice whether you want to stick with these very rapid firing machine guns, or whether you want to go for more a couple of cannons which will have got big instant damage, but also they will overheat very quick, and therefore you'll have to you've got to plan what you're doing a lot more accurately. Wanted to try and finish off. This can be one of the drawbacks of super maneuverable planes. You can be approaching somebody and all of a sudden you're on their tail a bit too soon. I probably should have slowed down a bit more there, but it doesn't matter. I'll just make another pass on him, try and work him again, and if necessary, do another pass, just turn around. It's the advantage of these planes. If you don't manage to polish somebody off in the first pass, you can just turn around and go after them, and you can do like I'm doing here, swap between targets and targets, because this guy here, he's been trying to hassle some of our team. Our team have been wanting a bit of help, so I'm happy to help him, then go back to this attack plane that was down there that I was working with earlier on. So I'm just under the 5,000 combat points mark now. You're probably wondering whether this is would I recommend it? Is it worth playing? Is it a nice plane? Yeah, I would say it is. It's really nice to get. It is quite easy to get for absolutely free a lot of the time. Quite commonly, at least 3 or 4 times that I know of in the last couple of months, Wargaming have put out a code which will give you this plane and the FW56 Stosser, the tier 2 German one, for absolutely free, to get you into the plane, to get you engaged into the game, and to get you engaged in playing it. And it's a great little plane, which will serve you pretty well, and probably earn you some reasonable credits as well. It's a lot of fun to play, as the Spitfires tend to be. Now this guy's really making me work, and the anti-aircraft guns are now trying to finish me off. Now it's just trying. I've got a whole lot of people on my case now, and I'm probably going to go down. But if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down slugging. Let's try and get rid of this guy, grade 3 fighter. That's me out of there. Okay, so the game's we're actually losing this game a little bit at the minute, but personally I'm acquitting myself pretty well. I'm doing my fair share of what I should be doing. It's just a bit unfortunate to get knocked out of the sky when I did. But yeah, did alright there in that first sortie. The enemy are very much taking a grip of this. They're going to have to do a lot to. They've got absolute superiority. This game's not going to last much longer unless we can try and get them out in the game. Squall line's coming down in 40 seconds as well, so it's looking pretty grim for us. So if you're in a game like this where you've done the best you can and your team's losing anyway, really there's not much you can do other than try and maximise your own personal performance to try and improve your credits and your XP and that sort of thing. So I'm just going to try and do that in these literally last few seconds until the game winds up. Problem is now the enemy are dominating this, so I've now suffered damage straight away. Now I've got back into the game, but straight away I've got damaged, and I'm trying just to hang in there and do the best I can, and that's the end of the game anyway. So it's a defeat. I finished first in our team overall with a class 3, which is not too bad, just under 7,000. Got the Flying Start award, that's very common. Got Effective Fire, that's very common. Got Subjugator, all very common awards. Grade 3 fighter, finished first in my team. Let's just see how we did overall. It is a premium aircraft. Ultimately I want that to have fun, but to make money. How did we do with a defeat? You know what, 82,000 credits, just under 83,000 credits on a defeat. You can't grumble at that. And it's a lot of fun to play. I would very much recommend getting this. It's in the premium shop in the EU at the moment for around about £6.50 or something in the UK, about €8. And if you're looking for a tier 5 fun fighter to earn you some credits and to maybe get you more involved in this game, you can't go much further than looking at this Spitfire 1A. It's a great little plane, a lot of fun to play, and I would highly recommend it. As ever, thank you very much for watching. Please do share and subscribe. Cheers, goodbye.